I'm Dylan McNeill. I'm the Director for Supplier Sustainability at Royal Philips. With that, I'm responsible for a number of programs to try to improve the sustainability performance basically of our supply chain. As a company, we have a mission to improve 3 billion lives by 2030, and that's mostly focused on the products that we put out on the market. But that whole mindset is also something that we really try to deploy in our supply chain as well. I think as a company we have about 15,000 suppliers that provide either components or sometimes even entire products that end up in the products that we put out on the market. So there's a very heavy reliance for our business success on the products that we put out, that we have suppliers who are up to our standards, if you will, to what we want the brand to portray. And when it comes to sustainability, we try to actively help them because sometimes we're active in regions which are very innovative, very cost competitive, but sometimes are not yet at that level of sustainability that we want them to be. And so we try to explain to them why it's important, what the business case is behind taking sometimes steps in that space, and then try to share best practices and enable them with tools to help them actually make the move. The engagement strategy that a lot of companies use is actually still using third-party audits to try to get them to move towards sustainability. We've done that for many years, but we actually found that the data was showing that there was a huge drop in performance as soon as we left and the audit engagement was over, basically. There wasn't really intrinsic motivation for those suppliers to improve. It was more that external force, or you have to, or we're going to threaten to leave our business with you, basically. And so what we have is much more focused on common trust, on enabling them, and on really partnering together with them and helping them take that next step. I'm a numbers guy myself, but so when I look at the results of the program last year, there was a 25% year-on-year improvement. I find that very exciting to hear that percentage, but when you start to think about what is actually behind that percentage, then it's a lot cooler even, because we're talking about almost 250,000 people, of which we've affected the labor conditions, the health and safety conditions that they face when they go to their factories to work, the environmental output of the suppliers that we're engaging with. So I think that is what motivates me and also what I'm really proud of. But it's also a good signal, I think, of what would be accomplished if we would get the entire industry to start adopting this, because then you're not talking about 250,000, you're talking about 250 million probably within a few years, and it would just speed up and speed up. It's really not in conflict with being cost effective. If you look, for instance, at the environmental performance of suppliers, then a lot of times it has a direct positive effect on the bottom line to become less energy intense. To move your waste streams from a cost center because you have to pay somebody to simply get rid of it, to a small profit center because all of a sudden these materials are being used for recycling and there's thus a value in it. The same goes when you look at some of the social indicators that we're focusing on. If you look at some of the countries which are doing a lot of the manufacturing for the entire world, basically, employee turnover is a serious issue. And so if we're able to help improve the employer-employee working relationship by creating a more healthy environment, or by making sure that people get paid for their overtime properly, you see that back in the numbers of turnover going down. And there's a business case behind that, because there's a constant cost if you have to attract new people that need to be onboarded with less output, with more quality issues, compared to just the same people that know what they're doing, helping them make sure that they stick around. Philips is also very customer focused, and I think that's a mantra that a lot of companies employ. So if you're a consumer, do not underestimate your own voice. If you're going to make specific requests on sustainability characteristics, there's a very good chance that that company is going to look at it and evaluate what are we doing in that space and are we doing enough. I think that the luck with Philips is that they have a long-term mindset in a lot of the things that they do. And I think now we have also the data to support really that this program is being effective. We see back in the relationship that we have with our suppliers in other spaces as well. And I think having this recognition just builds on the proof points basically that we're on the right track.